Hello my friends, this is Julia. Welcome and welcome back. Today I bring you along for an art journal page with Lavinia. I was lucky enough to get both the Lavinia inks and their amazing brushes for Christmas, and I intend to try them out during a few of my favorite techniques. I'm using violet chalk, confetti, Sahara, Bermuda, but I changed that one out for olive, truffle and graphite. In order to get to know these new supplies, I thought I would start with ink blending. The brushes are more used as stencil brushes, but I just want to get a feel for these inks, and what better way to do that than to blend. I start with a brown ink called Truffle, and my page is 6.5 by 6.5 inches. These are dye inks, and that is totally different than the distress oxides I often use. Dye inks sink into the paper fast, and you need a light hand because they don't stay on the surface of my paper for long. And I am not going for a seamless blend. I blend the colors heavier at the bottom and lighter higher up. Next is a lovely green color called olive, and I allow the ink higher up on my panel. I use the brushes to thin out the coat of ink so the next color can blend more easily with the green. After the green, I go for a yellow called Sahara, and I do the same procedure as before. This will be an evening sky in the end, so I use an even lighter hand when blending this yellow ink. The next color is Confetti, a beautiful pink. This might not look like much now, but bear with me and find out how this comes together in the end. At the top of my panel, I blend in violet chalk, and I like how the pink and violet blends together. These inks are so juicy and the colors amazing. I have this set of hill masks. They are acetate that help me achieve hills so I can build my scene. Using olive ink, I blend mostly on the acetate mask, giving me a light but clear hill, and I make many green hills, changing where I put them and what shape they are. The Lavinia brushes feel amazing and give that light touch I want. At the Lavinia website there is a theme every month, and this time it is Glitter Flurry. This is my contribution, but I don't have much glitter, so as you will see, my try is more of a shimmer flurry. When I have my green hills, I bring out 2 Lavinia stamps. To build up my scene, I need a forest. I use a piece of torn copy paper to mask off the tree trunks so I can have them come up behind the hills and create depth. I alternate between the 2 trees, stamping them in VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. To achieve more depth and push some trees into the background, I use second generation stamping on a few trees, stamping them first on copy paper and then on my panel, so the impression is more faint and the trees look like they are further back. I have this stamp of a beautiful reindeer, and I place him where I want him. treat my panel with anti-static powder, and stamp in VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink, and I cover him with Wow's Clear Matte Dull embossing powder and melt with my heat tool. Next, I bring out the little hare Pippin, and I place him under his reindeer friend and do the same procedure again. Stamp, cover in embossing powder and melt. I absolutely adore this matte dull embossing powder because it brings out the black in the stamping without being shiny. I want a third friend in the group, so I bring out a set of mouses and choose one. I put my acetate on my panel to see where the mouse should sit and place him on the acetate exactly on the acetate mouse. Then I pick out the mouse with the door to my stamping platform, remove the acetate, and repeat my procedure one more time, so my group of friends are complete. Next, I have a circle mask that I intend to use as a sun. I use violet chalk ink and I go around the mask, carefully flicking my brush to get that sun going down in the evening. I put a mask over the sun again, and I bring out some perfect pearl powders in the same colors as the sky, and one green Nouveau shimmer powder for the ground. I add water to the powders and use a small brush to flick little splatters of shimmer over the background, overlapping the colors. First green shimmer on the ground, and then the yellow, pink and white shimmer on the sky. And I make many little splatters. I have this beautiful Lavinia stencil and 2 doors of cardstock that will close over my scene. I use a pencil to trace the stencil onto the doors, leaving a thin frame, and then I bring out my blade. I use my sharp blade to cut that pattern on the stencil out of my paper doors. I am not crazy, just very, very stubborn. Now, I have my cutout doors, but I really apologize for the bad quality this part of the video. It will get better. I didn't realize that my lens was so dirty until later. I use the Lavinia Graphite ink to go around my panel, framing my furry friends. On the doors, I want to use another favorite ink technique of mine, ink smooshing. I smoosh the same colors as before onto my surface and dip the doors into the ink in the same order as the blending. But I realize that my doors are too fragile, so I then use a brush to apply the ink onto both sides of the doors. By the magic of cleaning a camera lens, the quality is much better. When my doors are dry, I use the same powders as before to make the same kind of splatters on the doors. Next, I use the graphite ink to frame the doors and bring out that pattern by brushing the graphite ink in the cut-out spaces. Now I am happy with my doors and I use glue to attach them to my panel and clips to hold them in place while the glue dries. My doors are in place and it's time to frame my page and put it in my black dilutions journal, and then I get to immerse myself in the details. I glue my page onto a bigger piece of black cardstock and then I glue them both onto a bigger white piece of cardstock, and I use my guillotine trimmer to make an even white frame. Finally, I get to glue my page onto the third page in my black dilutions journal, and then it's time for small details. I start with using a white gel pen to add highlights. I use it to bring out details in the animals, and after applying the white gel pen, I smudge it with my fingers so it won't be too sharp. I also put the white around my animals, like the sun is hitting them from the front, lighting them up from our view. The last details on this page is the shadows. I use my Stabilo All pencil to add shadows to the animals and the trees, smudging the pencil with a wet finger. I just touch a baby wipe and smudge to activate the black. For me, the shadows add that last touch that bring perspective to my scene. And now, this Lavinia mixed media art journal page with doors is finished. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope you will pop by again. Until the next time, happy crafting!